welcome to today's video. In today's video, we are going to have a very honest conversation. The topic is very simple but very much important. That is about the income tax obligation of the legal years after the death of a person. In the event of death of a person, the entire family breaks into so many pieces that it takes years on years to reassemble again. No doubt about that. And further, these tax responsibilities, burden of property transfer in the name of legal years, and a bunch of other different post-death legal formalities further act as painful exercise for the entire family. So in this video, I have tried to relieve somewhat from this painful activity by showing a roadmap on these painful income tax issues that will help them to take right decision in a speedy manner in such a critical situation. Now I would say, hey Abhishek, why are you boring us with your so sad stories? We don't want to listen to your boring stuffs. Tell us how this is relevant here. Alright, this is actually relevant and is applicable to all of us. I tell you how. All of us may get into a situation like this ever in life sooner or later. If the people are not aware of the consequences, they can land into a critical life situation and may have to sell out more and more money in the form of taxes, penalty and many other damages. So here I have tried to find out the answers of some questions for you. For instance, what are the consequences under income tax upon the death of a person? How the income of a deceased person will be subjected to income tax, and who will take care of the responsibility of settling the income tax dues of a deceased person and file income tax return in the year of death and years to come. These are some key points which we are going to understand here. So listen the video very carefully till the very end. If you see half the things, you will understand half the things. You will implement half the things and will see half the results. So please don't do this. Take it seriously. This is not an entertainment video. So please make notes. This is important for you. So essentially there are two things which I would like to cover here on this video. First, you know what? I have already told you that this is about the obligation of the legal years on the income tax matters after the death of a person. Second, I will help you understand the process how to e-file the ITR of a deceased person on the income tax portal. Here I will also tell you what would happen if the legal years do not honor their commitment in a timely manner. With that said, let's begin the video with the very basics of income tax. You know what, in India, every person who is an individual and whose total income exceeds the basic exemption limit is liable to file the return of income, that in short is known as ITR, right? And that is the very basic thing that everyone must know about. And the section 139 of the Income Tax Act requires us to do so. Here is an important chart for you that categorically shows you the basic exemption limit for various age groups. Now in case of super senior citizen, this limit is prescribed at rupees 5 lakhs. Here super senior citizen is a person who is a citizen of India and is the resident individual of 80 years or more at any point of time during the financial year. And the resident means a tax resident within the meaning of Income Tax Act 1961. Now we are not getting into the discussion what is the definition of tax resident under the income tax, since otherwise this video will stretch too long and you would say, hey Abhishek, you are boring us now. So in simple terms, if you have lived in India, in any part of India for more than 6 months during the relevant financial year, then you are a tax resident in India for that particular financial year. So residential status is determined for each financial year separately. You may be resident in 1 year and may not be resident in another year. Here an individual can be either a male or a female. So the basic exemption limit is what up to which income is not taxable in India. And in case of super senior citizen, this limit is rupees 5 lakhs up to which income is not taxable. Similarly, the basic exemption limit in case of a resident senior citizen is rupees 3 lakhs. And the age prescribed in case of resident senior citizen is 60 years at any time during the relevant financial year. Further, the exemption limit prescribed in case of other individuals is rupees 2.5 lakhs. So these are the basic exemption limits up to which income is not taxable in India. And these exemption limits are applicable in case of an old taxation regime of personal taxation. On the flip side, if the person opts for new alternative tax regime of personal taxation, the basic exemption limit is rupees 2.5 lakhs irrespective of the age limit. Apart from it, there are certain circumstances in which a person is required to file an ITR. So if a person has deposited more than rupees 1 crore in aggregate during the financial year in one or more current accounts with banks, or he has spent more than rupees 2 lakhs on foreign travel for himself or any other person, or he has incurred more than rupees 1 lakh towards consumption of energy means electricity, then he is required to file the ITR. So here in these three circumstances, a person is required to file an ITR despite the fact his or her taxable income is nil. Alright, these are some basics of income tax which every one of us must be aware of, and these basics of income tax are equally applicable even after the death of a person. Now I would say how? Look at section 159 of the Income Tax Act 1961. Please go open and read it. It tells us the story of a legal heir. Accordingly, the legal heir would be required to file the ITR of a deceased person. If it is not done in a timely manner, legal heirs will face consequences for such a failure, which may involve levy of penalty, interest and bunch of other different things. Therefore, it is very much important for the legal heirs to understand how they are liable to pay income tax on the income of a deceased person and file the return of income. And this is separate from their own personal tax which they are otherwise supposed to pay and file in context to their hard earned income. Point number 2. Now I would say, hey Abhishek, tell us who is the legal heir. Please elaborate. So the legal heir is determined in accordance with the will made by the deceased. If the will is not so made, surviving family members like spouse or any of the children would be considered as legal heir, and any one of them can opt to file the return and pay tax. To cut the story in short, in case of a deceased person expired during the year, the responsibility for filing the return till the time of death shall be on the legal heir. However, for the remaining period of financial year, that means post-death, the responsibility of filing the return shall be on the executor of the estate till the assets under the estate are distributed to the legal heirs. The liability of the executor to file the return is only until the legal transfers are carried out. Once the assets are distributed, the legal heir would be liable to file the tax return. If no such executor is appointed and the properties are smoothly transferred in the name of legal heirs, all the post-death liabilities with respect to return and tax will remain with the legal heirs only. Do keep in mind, legal heir will be liable only to the extent assets inherited from the deceased. Also, the legal heir will inherit all the liabilities of the deceased and will be held liable in future for any proceedings initiated against the deceased before his death. Here you need to make a note that all the incomes which is accrued or received from the beginning of the financial year till the date of demise will be considered as the income of the deceased person. And the tax on any income arising from the assets of the deceased after the death will be borne by the legal heir himself as his own hard-earned income. Now I help you understand this concept via an example. For instance, Mr. A dies on November 3rd of 2021 and is survived by his son, say Mr. B. The income tax return with respect to financial year 2021-22, assessment year 2022-23 would be filed as follows. The ITR of income from the beginning of the financial year, that is 1st April 2021 to November 3rd 2021, would be filed by Mr. V as a legal year. The ITR of any income accruing or arising on or after November 3, 2021 would be filed separately by the executor of the estate if appointed. Now, if the legal year say that they do not want to get into this fussiness and they say that this is not their business, what would happen? Can they deny so easily? The short answer is no. If the legal year does not file the ITR of a deceased person before the expiry of the deadline, let's say due date is 31st December 2021, then they may have to face the dire consequences for such non-compliance. They can be levied penalty under section 270A of the Income Tax Act, which is equivalent to 50% of the tax avoided for not filing the ITR. Apart from this, prosecution can be initiated in the court of law under section 276 of the Act, which may eventually lead to punishment of fine and imprisonment for minimum period of 3 months. Alright, so this brings us to the next point, that is about the process of filing of income tax return on the income tax portal. In order to file ITR of a deceased person on the income tax portal, one needs to register as a legal year on the new income tax portal 2.0 with certain documents to be uploaded on the portal. So first I list down the names of these documents for you. Copy of the PAN card of the deceased, copy of the PAN card of the legal year, copy of the death certificate of the deceased, copy of any order passed in the name of the deceased in case of any appeal against an order is filed, copy of any order or notice received, copy of indemnity letter. This letter guarantees the payment of all the taxes by the legal year who is filing the return. In layman terms, the legal years are providing guarantee for payment of tax dues of the deceased to the tax department by way of such indemnity letter. And finally, copy of the proof of legal year. Now, I guide you from where you can get the legal year certificate. Legal year certificate can be issued by court of law or local authority. Surviving family member certificate issued by local authority will also serve the purpose of this certificate. Family pension certificate issued by central or state government, registered will, letter issued by a banking company or financial institution mentioning the particulars of nominee or joint account holder to the account of deceased at the time of demise. So these are some standardized set of documents which are required to be uploaded on the income tax portal at the time of registration on the portal. So keep these documents handy. Moving on, as already told, in order to file the ITR of a deceased in the capacity of a legal heir, the first step is to register as a legal representative on the new income tax portal 2.0. That is www.incometax.gov.in. So log on to this portal, go to authorized partners, click on register as a representative, click on the let's get started to create a new request, click on create a new request. Now you would get a dialog box stating category of SSC whom you want to represent. Select the option deceased from the drop down, fill in the details required, attach the necessary documents which we have already discussed, click on proceed and verify the request, and finally click submit request. Now you will see a success message confirming the submission of request to register as a legal heir. Remember, the reason for registration as a representative SSE should mandatorily be provided for. Now you would say, Abhishek, why don't you guide us on this aspect as well? So you can put the reasons, for instance, filing of an appeal against an order passed in the name of deceased, submit service requests such as refund, reissue, rectification, filing of return of income, so and so forth. Once one has registered as a legal year, a request will be sent to the e-filing admin for approval. The e-filing admin will check the authenticity of the request and may approve or reject the request. Upon approval or rejection, an email and a SMS will be sent to the legal year who has raised the request. In case the request is rejected, the intimation for rejection would be accompanied by a valid reason for such rejection. For instance, upload of incorrect information or document. Accordingly, the taxpayer should take the necessary corrective action. The estimated time for such intimation depends upon the time taken by the jurisdictional assessing officer for verification, which may usually go up to 15 days. However, considering the technical issues in new IT portal at present, the time taken may go well beyond 15 days. After registering as legal year, ITR can be filed in normal format by following the standard procedure as followed in case of natural living individual while filing his own return. Thus, the return would be verified by the legal year who can simply sign the ITR acknowledgement, and the copy of the same can be sent to the Central Processing Center, Bengaluru. Alternatively, the legal year may also verify the return by generating OTP using his own details such as registered mobile number. In the beginning of the ITR, where Aadhaar details is required to be provided, Aadhaar of the deceased can be provided. And there is a specific provision in the ITR which asks for Aadhaar number of the representative, wherein the Aadhaar details of the legal representative is provided in the ITR. I hope you enjoyed this video. Give it a thumbs up and I see you the next time.